Welcome back, comrades, to the Lucky Die. Previously, Balance underpaid an employee, Rhal talks about Tamora Runa, and Zaltanna tangles with the Sandman. During their overnight rest, Rhal and Balance put Amor's book into Jens's hand to try and further unravel the mystery of the Dragonborns. They learn of their origins, of Daemarius, and of Icecrane. What did the burning note do to Rhal? How big of a threat is Lightburner? And does Zaltanna's dream mean that a debt is running out of time? I guess you're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die.
Okay. All right, guys. Next morning, bright and cheerful. It's not. You guys are on the edge of the marsh. It's not bright. It's not cheerful. There is a low mist. There is a low fog surrounding everything. It's very difficult to see where the path is. It's difficult to see where there is essentially just watery marshland or whether it's in fact like reeds or anything. You can't really tell very easily where the safe areas are and where they are not. Your horses are moving at a slightly slower pace than normal, not massively, so it will completely slow you down, but you are traveling at a slower pace because they are wary and uncomfortable. You can't really see the sun so much the later on you go. As you kind of like begin to descend down a little bit, you can hear the horses' hooves making their way through a low amount of water on the ground. Zaltanna, you can feel the dampness being that much further down. I assume you're riding on Karuna?
Yeah, of course I am.
You can feel like the water splashing up to your ankles, that sort of thing. It's getting damp and not great here. As you guys continue, you can feel the elevation going down somewhat. You're looking up and around you. You can see where the sun is because it's affecting the fog and the mist that are over you, and it's eerily quiet. Just maybe a few noises of maybe some sort of frog creatures or some scurrying, but it's eerily quiet other than the sound of the sloshing of the hooves through the water. What you guys want to do?
Keep an eye out for Benno's signs.
Oh yeah, I obviously told them about the left thing.
Cool. You letting them know that. Balance, are you going to let them know the conversation you had with Marnak?
Regarding...
everything he told you?
I'd probably tell Rhal and Zaltanna that telepathically.
Uh-huh.
Just to keep that between the three of us.
That's fair. Okay, so y'all basically know everything. Are you mentioning the weird thing with your note yesterday, or you're just going to be like...
Yeah, Rhal mentioned that.
Okay. All right, then you guys are officially caught up with everything that happened to you guys when you went to bed, etc.
Does Rhal say the words out loud in Draconic? Does Rhal spontaneously combust?
No, when he says those words, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Okay, if you guys are looking out for Benno's fletching, I need you guys to roll a perception check. I'm not going to penalise you for the fog because it really is obscuring your vision. I'm not going to penalise it because you know really pretty much exactly what you're looking for.
I have one of his arrows.
You do. And there's the red is definitely a colour that would stand out in this environment. It just depends whether it's really covered in some of the scum from the marsh or not. I'm just going to say you can make these perception rolls just straight. Just take them as they are.
I got a 12.
I got an 8.
7.
God damn it, guys. And you're the high wisdom character.
Hey.
For the record.
I've maxed my dex.
What did you get, Rhal?
I got a 7.
Well, you guys bumble on for the rest of the day. You don't spot his flexion. You don't spot his arrows anywhere. You don't find anything. After Zaltanna telling you about seeing the bridge and the fork in the river, you don't see that either. You haven't seen it at all. You think you would have, but you haven't come across it either. You haven't come across it yet, or you've just not reached it. That sort of thing. But you do not spot any of these fletchings, any of these arrows at all. There's nothing. You guys essentially hit the end of the day. Everything is eerie. There's no safe place to pull the cart off. It's going to be stopping in water tonight. Everything around here is quiet. It got very dark very, very quickly. It's very cold. The wetness is now like beginning to do that horrible thing where it's making its way through your clothes. Apart from Rhal, because his hoodie is magic, and his pants because they're technically his cloak of protection now, and Zaltanna, it doesn't get through your back because of that, but it's seeping through. It's in the bottom of your boots. It's wet and horrible and grim. Even the somewhat cheerful Homer is a little bit less cheerful because he doesn't really want to get stuck in the swamp or the marshes. So he's being very careful about what it is that, where he makes his patrols and stuff. And that's essentially your day. It's not great. It's not productive. Nothing really happens because you don't spot anything, I'm afraid. What do you guys want to do? Do you still want to sleep out at night in this?
No, we're going to be staying in the fucking cart. Before that, though, Balance is going to, at some point, address Homer and just say, while you're out, I'm going to stay up for at least a couple hours. If you could perhaps take a form that is better suited in the air, try to scout ahead and see if you can find one of any of these along the way. And I'll show him the arrow.
Well, if I'm going to be scouting ahead, there won't be anyone on patrol here.
Well, that's going to be me.
Watch.
I'll take care of that in the meantime.
Okay. He lifts his staff in the air. He mutters something, and you see his eyes shift to a dark green color, just the irises. And he pulls the staff down and rests it on his shoulders, and you see these massive wings sprout from them. You see his hands reach out in front of him and become claws as his feet become. You see a beak protrude from his face, and he turns into a giant owl. And with a single call, he takes off into the air.
As he's going, I'm just going to remind him that we're also looking for the river with the fork.
Yeah, he's going to go scout.
Rhal looks fucking amazed. Oh my goodness.
I assume this is nothing new to me.
This would be. Druids they're not common, but everyone knows a druid. Like everyone knows a Pete or a Dave.
Please, I'm
everyone
from the
knows these
royal
people.
family. I've seen everything.
Oh, sorry, apostrophe makes it elven. For eat. Yeah, he takes off. Okay, what do you guys want to do now?
Rhal will go up to Balance at some point.
Sure.
I'm sitting on top of the cart.
That's fine. Rhal can get up there. He's got max dex now. Max dex.
Ooh.
Yes. Level 8. Celebrate.
Oh my god.
Rhal hands you 2 sheets of paper and sits down next to you and says, here. This is draconic.
What am I looking at?
He's basically written out like some simple symbols that are basically almost an alphabet, and they're not like a direct cross. It's not so simple as like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but there's almost like a little key there for you to start using to translate them.
Well, that's just the opposite of what the Jackson 5 says.
Jesus Christ, Casey.
I don't get it.
Am I picking up here that Rhal is trying to teach Balance Draconic?
Oh.
Rhal says, if your friend has some kind of connection with my people, you should probably maybe learn the language. Otherwise, you won't be able to talk to them.
That is a fair point. Well, in my downtime, I can certainly try to learn it as best as I can. I'm going to need some assistance, I'm sure. Balance gives like a half smile.
Sure. It's a little bit odd, difficult, but I mean, I got it fast enough with Emma's help, so I'm sure you'll be fine.
I can certainly try.
Sorry, I'm reading the how long it takes to learn a language. The US government can teach an agent a language in 600 hours. D&D 5e claims it takes 2,000 hours, 250 days and 8 hours a day to learn a language.
Yeah, okay.
The U.S. government could not teach someone a language at 600 hours, really?
Well, if you think about it, if you're learning a very specific part of a language, like, for example, you need to be a spy and pretend to work in a catering. Like, you need to know more catering than you need to learn certain other things. That there are things that you'll need to learn that you can be fluent, but not necessarily, like, really good.
How many days is 600 hours?
But we also are playing D&D in Fantasy World, where
also
we like can take a nap and heal our wounds.
This is according to the Arcana Times Part 4 variant training in 5e. It takes 250 days, 8 hours a day to learn a language.
Also, I will make the argument here that nobody in the American government has a 20 in intelligence.
That is true. That is exceptionally true.
We're gonna come for you now.
No offense.
Like, oh shit.
No offense.
If that's the case, Rhal probably wouldn't even know common.
Yeah, you would, because you've been in Discora for a number of years now.
You've been in Discora for at least 250 days.
That's a lot of like dedicated, like sit down and learn time, though.
Well, think of it this way too, though. When you travel to a foreign country, you do pick up on the language by being around it a lot faster than you would reading out of a book.
Yeah, exactly.
And in your favor, you have been in Rhal's perceptive space in his flashbacks while he was speaking Draconic and kind of have heard the language from a level of you. Can I
multi-class intellect devourer?
No, but you could pick up the feat linguist. That would have made more sense.
I'll consider it.
Okay, let's if you want to teach him Draconic, I will come up with a way fairer than 250 days.
20 intelligence.
Like, the world is going to be dead by then.
Yeah.
I am now mega smart.
The world's going to be out by then, dudes. Like, you learning how to be proficient in a sword. Well, let's say my timeline goes up to a point. Where's my timeline go up to currently?
Is it?
I have somewhere.
Days?
Yeah, I have to do a timeline, dude, because I need to know, because the big evil plot that I said, if you guys decided to go make a bar in Tahiti or something, the plot still happens. The world is still being destroyed around you, and it happens on a schedule. It happens here because of this, and here because of this, and here because of this. So I have to keep in my head straight exactly when what happens. And also, you motherfuckers keep sending people back to Falsum, so I need to know when they turn up.
Go to Falsum.
Yeah, everyone go to Falsum, and I'm like, when are they going to arrive? So I need to keep like in track, like how long it takes these things to happen. So
I like the mommy and the kid.
I said to Balance, we have 2 horses. We can make more horses, and then with those horses, we sell the horses, and then we just ride the horses as we sell them away from the apocalypse. And horse farm.
You know what's funny is we do have a male and a female horse.
Funnily enough, yesterday is when that woman and the child were yesterday in game was when the woman and the child were supposed to arrive at Falsum.
Fuck, that's a long ass time.
Yeah, they had to walk. They didn't have horses.
Shit.
So it took them like 20 days to get there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, was it really only 20 days?
Yeah. It was 23 days since she met the woman and the child.
It's only been like 2 weeks since we got out of fucking Dranath.
It's not been long.
Oh, wow.
You're coming to the end of day 45. It's only been 6 weeks since the first god died. Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. Anyways, back in game.
Sorry. The fuck were we talking about?
Languages.
Languages. I will come up with something slightly fairer because 250 days is ridiculous in my opinion, especially if you you already have this link with him. You know what it sounds like. You're beginning to read it because you've seen the book like a gazillion times. And if, for example, the three of you decide to make a concerted effort to learn Draconic, it will go faster because if three of you are, well, if these two are trying to constantly babble their way through Draconic, it will be a lot quicker and easier for them to learn. So yeah, it's a doable thing. I will come with something that's not lightly fairer. Because 250 is dumb.
I don't care about learning Draconic.
Oh boy.
I do.
Okay, then your time will be slightly hindered. Okay, that's fine.
I have more important things to do with my life.
Wow.
Hush.
I'm teaching Rhal the sword fight.
That is true.
That's way more important.
It occurs to me now that if Rhal and Balance are ever practicing with swords, Balance is going to hit Rhal with the sword, and then Rhal's going to get a headache and be like, oh, what the fuck?
Yes, that's true. That's the thing now.
Damage too.
Anyway, so yes, Rhal hands you over the paper and begins to write out their alphabet.
All right. Balance will spend some time, I guess, sitting there going through. He's only half paying attention because he does want to keep an eye on the surroundings, though. Okay,
that's fine. We'll figure into something that's fair. I'll make you roll a dice roll as well to determine exactly how long it takes. But we'll do that a little bit later when I've had time to sit down and figure out what the fuck this is going to do.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm going to say, Rhal, during the day, you probably, when you guys stopped to rest the horses because they would have been really bogged down, you two probably could have been, practicing your sword fighting. Just fighting in difficult terrain, that's all.
Yeah.
So you can take another day off. That's
it's like Pirates of the Caribbean style fighting. We're on top of the cart dodging branches and shit while we're swinging at each other.
Well, if the three of you using the top of the cart, Jens is going to be making things fly towards you, just dodge action. Is
Jedi training. This is Jedi training.
Rhal's extremely good at dodging things. So
wait, why am I teaching? Am I teaching both of you how to sword fight now?
I know how to sword fight.
No, you don't.
No.
I have two swords.
No, you don't.
That doesn't mean that you know how to use them.
I do, in fact.
Anyway.
That's 100% an in-character conversation, by the way. At some point, Zaltanna, sees you trying to sword fight Rhal, and she's like, what the fuck, Balance? You don't know how to sword fight.
That's the royal family style of swordplay. If anything, it's a little bit altered because I chose to dual wield instead of doing with the shield like the rest of my family did.
Sure it is. Whatever you say.
Okay, so we have language learning, we have sword fighting on top of a cart because you're badasses. Night comes, the Great Eagle soars off into the sky to go look out for fletching and to look out for this fork in the road. All right, whoever is up on watch first.
Hi.
I'm going to need you to make a perception check for me.
That would be a 7.
Oh, boy. Probably because you're distracted. You are not paying that... You're trying to pay attention to the outside world, but the lure of knowledge is just too strong.
That's a very balanced thing, yeah.
Yeah, you don't really pay much attention to anything going on outside. That's it. You missed the thing. Okay. Cool.
We're gonna die.
You're gonna die. Nah, not really. Maybe.
So fucked.
Maybe. Okay,
Crocodiles.
so Rhal, I assume you're going to bed at some point?
Yeah.
Zaltanna, I assume you're going to bed at some point?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Zaltanna, you don't feel the familiar tug. You don't feel anything.
No.
Your dreams reflect a cold, empty place.
Just like
you're
my
waiting.
heart.
Well, it has a little spark there of, you felt the connection, you know it's there, but it's missing right now. It's just slightly broken.
Again, just like my heart.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zaltanna. Things happen, I'm sorry.
It's all your fucking fault, so...
Yes, it is, and I will take ownership of that one day. Yeah, you feel nothing in your dream. Rhal, you go to sleep. You have a fairly peaceful dream. Can you take a wisdom check for me, please? Wisdom saving throw. It's your choice. You could fail it if you want to.
No.
I will give you that it feels familiar, but you can't put your finger on it.
Familiar.
Yeah. This is all I'm going to give you, your inner dreams, so I can't really give you much more than that.
My wife keeps visiting me in my dreams.
I know that, and Rhal knows that. But like, you know what she doesn't do is talk to your strange dragon friend that she doesn't know that you have.
I'm not saying that it's my wife. I'm saying it's your wife.
That's not how. No, but feeling that it's familiar, he would be curious enough to probably slip.
Cool. What are you dreaming about?
Oh man, you said
It's your dream, buddy.
dream?
I'm not. Yes, let's say it's a pleasant dream. I don't want to keep wailing on Rhal too much. I mean, he is my favorite punch bag, but
Bogram and all of us and Ama and everyone, and for some reason we're all alive and in the same place, and we're eating in the monastery.
oh my god,
That actually sounds like a Rhal dream.
yeah.
Right?
Like there are like there's like all the small little round and square tables have just been like pushed together so that it just makes like one big gathering where people can just like turn and talk and drink. You know, you're never like bored. Like to get up is actually a hassle because everyone's so like ingrained into each other. But no one seems to want to get up or anything, and you can see everyone like hanging around and talking to each other. And Ama is there, and she's resting her head on your shoulder, just talking away. And Bogrim's off to one side and he's chatting to Zaltanna and Zaltanna's lady friend. Do you know what Zaltanna's lady friend looks like?
Yeah, we've
You
seen
have
visions.
visions of her? Yes, you have. Yeah, so you know what everyone looks like. That's cool. And you look down and you see this, you feel this like tugging on your new pants. This is so dumb. You see a tugging on your pants, and as you look down, you see a little Talus under the table.
Hi.
Hey!
What are you doing?
Uncle Rhal, are you dreaming right now?
Rhal looks around and tries to figure out if anything is out of place, I guess.
It looks like the monastery, man. The only thing out of place is that everyone you've ever known or loved and people you've never met before are in this pub.
No? Did I pass out again?
Well, the person that I spoke to at the Witches' Society said that you should be asleep when I do this, so I'm sorry if I'm waking you or disturbing you. I don't really know how this works.
What are you doing? You're just... We're at the monastery. Where?
No, I'm back at the place that's just like near the plateau where Uncle Balance and his other people are having a big meeting, and Daddy said that I needed to come talk to you about something that happened that Uncle Balance might need to know and that you need to know, and that they have to be very careful now.
What happened?
The man who came to the inn to talk to everyone and make a declaration of what's happened said that there were people like Auntie Kythea, and that there were big orc things and cat people and lizard peoples, and that they were at this place called Catlock. Said that there were undead people like that over there, and they were debating if it meant that the treaty had been broken or not, and they decided that it had.
The undead ones?
Mm-hmm.
Who is deciding this?
The Queen and the Queen of the Dusk.
Where, if you're, where are you safe? What's going on?
Uh-huh. The Queen of the Elves, the one that I can't pronounce, she she made a big push for it to be declared as war because they're undead people from the other place over here. And the other queen, the dwarf lady, she tried to say no, but she got overruled. So now there's a war on that. And Auntie Kaithia is safe, but we have to hide her.
Are all the people still under Falsam? Are they safe?
I don't know. Daddy said that lots of people are going to be called to go fight in the war now. And that Uncle Balance and Auntie Zaltanna should be very careful because he thinks that they might have a war.
Oh, okay. Just stay safe and keep everyone down in the Earthdark.
I will. We're gonna take the first transport back to Falsam tomorrow. And then we're gonna go hide in the place that Daddy was talking about underground with lots of people.
Okay. Do I know when Bogrim was gonna show back up in Falsam? Because he was going somewhere else first, right?
Yes, he was going to be going to
And he didn't have any
Stronghold
teleport
first.
plans or anything like that?
He didn't have he didn't explicitly say he had plans on how quickly he was going to be getting to Falsam.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't be a stretch to think, oh, he's probably hearing or heard this and realised how quickly they need to move. So you don't know for sure, but you know that Bogrim is a smart guy.
Bogrim's going to, he's going to be back in Falsam soon, but you might beat them back. Just stay somewhere safe, down in the temple, if everyone is safe down there.
Okay. And when Mr. Bogrim turns up, I'll look after him for you.
Thank you, Taylor.
That's okay. I think I have to go now because the man casting the spell I think I hear him getting very angry because I'm taking a very long time.
Okay. Tell Caden I said hello and just stay safe.
Okay. You stay safe and get Auntie Zaltanna's lady.
We will.
Bye.
Bye.
And she kind of like looks around a little bit, isn't really sure how to leave, and then everything just fizzles through into darkness. And that's your night.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
All right. I immediately tell everyone about that.
First thing in the morning, as soon as Rhal wakes up, I assume he's going to divulge this information to basically everyone and anyone in earshot. I will deal with Homer when we finish this bit.
Fuck.
I don't know if there's much we can do about it. It's not fair. It's inaccurate. The treaty was not broken. They were dead.
There's something fishy about all this.
I assume are you telling Jens and Homer as well?
I will say aloud the general information, but definitely not divulge to them that we have the people in the temple and that we are aware that is going on.
Or that I'm a prince.
All of that.
Don't mention the aunt part.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the fishy stuff, all the good stuff. Okay, that's fine.
No, I've told everyone Balance is a prince.
It would be inaccurate. He was a prince.
Stop it. It's mean.
I know. But
He's a prince and he needs your help and your money to retake his throne, so please wire him.
Like 20,000 gold.
Yeah.
It's funny, but actually, yeah.
Oh boy.
Please wire Prince Balance 20,000 gold. He needs your help.
So I can hire an army of mercenaries.
Save his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Save the world.
That's like that
Save the
show,
cheerleader
Heroes.
girlfriend, save the world.
Literally all of
What
us
are we
making
if not
that
heroes?
terrible joke at the same
Yeah.
time. All right.
All right.
This is going to be a bigger problem.
Well, I think if they were undead and they were being puppeted around, whatever, then that could be argued as breaking the rules. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been around for a while. I don't exactly know what's in the treaty, but it could be argued. Clearly was.
Something about it just doesn't sit right with me. That sounds like... Why now? Why would now of all times need to be when they declare war against the people who technically didn't do it? They were dead.
I mean, come on, Balance. You were a politician. Figure it out.
It wasn't. It,
Well, I have
it was
theories.
It's not like
It was the night.
it's not freaking hard to figure out why anyone would declare war on anyone right now. Distraction. Try to get if you make people stop thinking about the apocalypse happening and you get them focused on something that they can actually defeat easily, like potentially easily, they're more easily controllable. If everyone's
Distraction.
panicking about the fucking apocalypse, it's hard to keep control over a populace.
I think we need to alter our plans slightly.
If you fucking say we're altering our course right now, I'm going to punch you.
Not like that.
Well, from what you said about the dwarf and the elf, I mean, I don't know how much you can trust your source or anything, but if the dwarf was beat down, then maybe something to do with the elves. And she doesn't look at Balance like she's trying not to put that on the elves, but
I'm already
she is an
aware.
elf. Yeah.
Thank you. It's...
Maybe. Well, what was our plan after we save Odette?
Meet up with Bogrum and put the hammer on the stand.
Right.
And then we also need to locate Dacian.
Maybe.
Roll an insight check for me, please.
9.
You don't spot anything of note on your companion's face.
Mm-hmm. Beyond that, there wasn't much of an idea. We still need to figure out where some of the other pieces are. I think at that point we need to make a detour, though. I think it's time at that point that I perhaps return to my roots. I have a long chat with some people. And you can see that Balance is like clenching his fists tightly.
You're going back to...
Yes.
Why?
Because this is getting reckless. This is getting far out of hand and needs to be remedied before the world descends into chaos even further.
We need, just my humble opinion, we need people to work together to stop this. Have you noticed the gods dying? I think that's a bad thing.
You know, Jens, the more and more that we get to talk and be around you, the more and more I'm really finding you very agreeable.
Jen's is the best.
She blushes a little bit, like genuinely. You don't like she's not acting the drunk at this time of the morning. She's a little bit sloshed, but not a lot. Like you just see your comments just cut through for a minute, and she just genuinely just smiles and embarrassed and have no idea what to do.
Most of the time when we meet spellcasters, they're either so full of themselves that it's impossible to deal with, or they're the super mysterious, try to keep everything close to the chest sort of thing.
I'm not going to lie. I have at times been those. But I decided, nope, this time just drinking and fighting and the other one that I'm not allowed to do with any of you.
Fucking.
Yeah. That one.
I mean, if you're into the Swerfneblin, I mean, I can't attest to him, but
I asked, he's not interested.
okay. Well, in the words of some friends, you're free to do whoever you wish.
I should introduce you to my brother-in-law.
You know, you might actually do him some good.
What I'll be doing him good. I'm gonna go make breakfast.
Right. We need to have a bit of a private chat, actually.
Jen steps out of the RC and leaves you guys to it.
Close the door, turn back. As I was trying to allude to, I think after all this and we return to Falsum and do that business, it might be a good idea to return to Beligbud and try to deal with this idiocy. Whoever is pulling the strings on my aunt has to be dealt with.
Balance. I don't know if I can help much in that. I can try, but what am I gonna do?
Back me up. We need to find whoever is pulling the strings.
You need people around you that people will listen to, and I can tell you that that's not me.
Oh, we're not going in diplomatic way, I assure you.
Oh, yes. Good. We're breaking in. Love that.
Well, you know who I am. They're not going to let me walk in the front gate.
So we're gonna, stomp some heads into a curb. I'm down for that.
No. No killing of innocents.
We're gonna stomp some Imperial Godhead into a curb. I'm down for that.
No. The gods are just as innocent.
Are they, though?
They're following orders.
Yeah.
Why am I the one that has to speak this?
Okay, listen, you're talking to someone who was a criminal for the better part of her life.
You made a promise to your god.
I did make a promise to my god. If your aunt's gods are oppressing people, then I think it's within my promise to fucking fuck them up.
No. They're not the ones to blame for this. They're following orders, which I can understand. We need to figure out who is pulling the strings, find them, deal with that.
And then I can fuck them up?
Whoever is pulling the strings, absolutely.
Okay, as long as I get to fuck someone up.
Don't fuck up the puppet, fuck up the puppeteer. I like to believe that my aunt has good in her and is just being manipulated. If it turns out otherwise, that's a whole nother story. I'd rather not have to get into conflict with my family.
Well, we'd all like that, but...
You hear a tapping at the door.
Open the door? Yes.
You see this, you can see this eel begin to slowly meld back into the form that you recognize as being Homer's. It's not exactly dark out. The sun is beginning to come up, but because it's so heavily with mist here, it is kind of dark. So he's not burning. He's not spontaneously turning into flame, is what I'm saying.
We're at dawn right now.
Yeah, dawn.
One might insinuate that we are planning at dawn.
You are literally doing this. Stop. He says, so I found a place we were looking for.
Did you see a tall, well, I mean, he's an elf, so of course he's tall. Did you see an elf and the dwarf?
I didn't, but I found the fork in the river that you were looking for in the stream, in the bridge. And I found one of those tawny elf fletching things.
Good. Which way?
They were all over the place. They were mostly around the left fork.
No, I mean, which way's the river?
Oh, we just keep following the road. It's about half a day ahead.
Wonderful.
Is it... She said
Why do
he
I
was
feel
in
like there's an
trouble.
if coming? Or but?
To get to the bridge, this road goes quite far away and then doubles back. There's a bit that's almost impassable. I don't know if we're about to take the RC there to get to the bridge quickly. And if we want to get there and take the RC, it's going to take another half day.
What bars the road?
the swamp.
Oh.
I love how he calls it an RC too.
I'm going with it. It's our fiction. I'm living the fiction.
Is there anything that you can do as a druid to perhaps make the environment a little more amiable?
He rolls his shoulders while I check. I guess that he can do erupting earth.
What'd that do?
Basically, it's almost exactly as it sounds, like a piece of earth erupts from the ground. It's supposed to be a damage thing, but I guess you could argue that you could turn it into a not thing.
Yeah, if he could do enough of like bits of earth erupting from the ground that we could like.
It does create rougher terrain, but it would be still quicker.
Well, it sounds like we're on rough terrain anyways.
Yeah, but
it's probably the only one not bothered by this.
Yes, it is. It is kind of rough terrain, but it's not so rough that it's properly impeding your travel. This would impede your travel, but I'm just trying to figure out whether it'd be quicker for him to do this or. Oh, dude has like a fuck ton of spell slots. Yeah, he could do this. It would take a while. It's like what action? Let's see how long it would take him to do this long. What did you take him a minute?
How? Yeah, but the question is how long?
It's a 20-foot cube. It's 200 foot, whatever the hell it was. I think some of you can blink across anyway, but getting the RC across would not be doable. But this, yeah, you could easily just like bump. Yep, you could do this.
The important thing for me is like,
Serious, man.
How much longer will it take us to? Because it's going to take a full day with the RC anyway.
It takes half a day to get to where he saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It would take another half day to take the detour. To continue following the path to get it to the bridge because of the really rough, like watery terrain. Basically, the RC couldn't travel across. But he can perform this spell, which basically creates 20-foot cubes of rough dirt, and he needs to do 10 of those, and it's one action, so it's 60 seconds. So yeah, he can.
Yeah, fuck it, let's do that then.
Yeah. Okay, so that works, but also we need to get to him as soon as humanly possible because Odette said he was in trouble.
All right.
I didn't see any signs of him. I'm sorry.
I know. That's what I figured. Is there any way, Balance? Maybe you could, once we get there, you could like blink us across, and the Jens and Homa could meet up with us. And we could run ahead and try to see what's going on with him.
I mean, if we want to leave behind the horses and the cart in a safe location, I can teleport all of us a fair distance. That's not an issue.
Probably don't want to leave this here unattended.
Yeah. And also...
So I could stay here and I'd be pretty useless in the light anyway.
Yeah, Homa probably should stay with the caravan anyway, because... That's what I'm saying. It'd be much more if we split the group up into the three of us and the two of them, and we trust them with the cot because I think that they're trustworthy.
Well, you are paying us.
Exactly. And
we'll take the long route and we'll meet you at the bridge, and if you guys can get across.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
I'm just really worried. And especially after what happened to Odette in my dream with the Sandman.
All right. Well, then let's go to it then. Sooner the better.
Yeah, I agree.
Jens looks like she's looking through her spellbook.
Jens, do you want to come with us, or do you want to go with the caravan?
You know, I think I could be helpful to you, but I mean, if things attack during the light, then our little friend here could be in some trouble.
That is fair. Stay with him.
All right, okay. She looks like she's hatching a dumb plan, and it really is dumb. So, okay.
Okay. I like dumb ideas.
There is a real dumb idea. It's not going to do anything. It's just I was trying to find a way of saving you some side points, so we'll find out if it works in a minute. Okay. You guys make your way towards the place where White Needle, Homer had indicated. It really is probably less than half a day. I mean, you're moving at some speed now. You know that you're close, and it seems to be helping things to go forward. Whoever is in charge of the animals is Yep, that urgency is transferred straight to the horses. They know they need to get moving. About half a day later, probably just under, you come to an area. On the right-hand side, you can see that there is a bridge, which is just upriver from a fork in the river itself. You can see why the terrain was tricky and rough. It's boggy, it's miry. There are branches that seem to be broken and tree trunks that are just beginning to be rotted through. You can hear creatures and animals just like chitting around in there. You can tell by some of the things that are already like half sunk in there. It's just a mire. Crossing this with the RC would be almost impossible. As you get there, what do you guys want to do? What do you want to... Any instructions you wish to leave your cohorts or...
Balance on the way there is going to take 10 minutes and focus on a gold coin. Single gold coin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use my psionic investigation ability to turn it into a GPS tracker.
Hey!
Because, funny enough, that's an ability I have that I'd never have to use.
Link a thing.
You can embed an intangible psionic sensor within the object. For the next 24 hours, you can use an action to learn the object's location relative to you, its distance and direction, and to look at the object's surroundings from its point of view as if you were there. So I can plant a GPS tracker.
Huh.
It's a cool ability I've never had to fucking use.
I'm going to draw the line at saying that if it's on a different plane of existence, you can't sense it.
No, that's fine.
Okay, because the barrier's between the world. That's my hard line on this. Like,
that's fair.
That's the thing.
I will take the coin, hand it to one of them and say, I've embedded a special tracer of mine with this. So long as it's within 24 hours, I will be able to know where you are.
Cool. I have a dumb thing to save you having to do whatever it is you're planning on doing.
All right.
Give me half a minute. Correction, give me 6 seconds.
Can you explain the...
Nope, this is way more fun if I just do it. And you see her wave her hand forwards. You see the feather, which is her bracelet, basically just fly off her wrist and shatter into 4 tiny little pieces. The bulk of it returns to her wrist, but the 4 tiny little black feathers that have just like come out from her main one go up into the air and fly down, smash into Balance, Rhal, Zaltanna, and Karuna's backs. And you guys have fly for 10 minutes.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
There you go.
That's amazing!
You guys have a flying speed of 60 for the duration.
Holy shit, that's faster.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't believe I can fly.
Yeah. She had to cast it at a significantly higher slot, but to get all 3 of you, but 4 of you. But yes, even Karuna can fly.
This certainly works better. All right, well, time is of the essence. We'll see you all later. Rhal, think happy thoughts.
Any happy little thought?
Rhal got 2 feet above the ground and passed out.
Rhal
as he passes out, you see him like sink to the ground very slowly and gently, just like lays him down in the dirt. You see a little bit of like blood pouring out of his nose.
I like the idea that his ass sticks up in the air.
His butt's in the air just a little bit. Yeah, you basically see this like blood beginning to pool under his face.
Zaltanna, can you grab him? Use the thing, wake him up, and let's go. Time is of the essence.
I swoop over him with the thing open.
Uh-huh.
Like I swoop past his nose, like whoosh, whoosh.
You do like a really low flyby. As you open the medicine, the potion bottle, as you sweep past him, you realise that it's almost empty. There's not a lot left in this. Rhal, you come to very, very, very slowly. And as you kind of like sit up or roll over, you realise that the ground beneath where your face was is just a pool of blood. There is a lot there, and a lot mixed in there is the acid. You can begin to like listen closely enough. You think you can hear it dissolving away at the blood. This is a lot more than you're used to.
Rhal kind of gets up and wipes himself off and plays it cool. I'm okay.
Let's go, Rhal.
You just do it?
You just
think happy thoughts and fly away.
Rhal's like half closing his eyes, but like only opening them just enough to where he can see where he's going.
Do you want me to help you?
I've got it.
it's like walking, but not. It's like running, but not.
Nothing like either of those. I've never had the wings before.
It's not. It's like flying. I really don't know how to explain. Like, I don't use this spell. I have a different way, but apparently it's just like fly. I don't know how to explain it.
If I just gave you a tail, would you know what to do with it?
Balance is going to swoop down, just grab Rhal by the wrist, and just start pulling him.
So in this Peter Pan analogy, I think that Balance is Wendy, Rhal is like the littlest brother, and Zaltanna's like the middle brother that just wants to be like fighting shit. And like he's like, let's go.
That's amazing. Cool. So I just like I have this little image of my head of like Balance and Zaltanna like swooping down and grabbing Zaltanna, like grabbing Rhal's wrist and just like flying off with him. So even if he passes out, you've got him. He's fine.
Yeah.
All right, you guys fly away. Karuna is following behind you. Seems to be a little confused as to why they can now do this, but you know,
Doggy
paddling through the sky.
I mean, she's a magic wolf.
She's a magic wolf. Yeah, it's unusual. She has this kind of like expression to her face, but you know, she's getting on with it. You guys fly over this rough terrain. You see the bridge. I would like all of y'all to make perception checks, please.
15.
16.
Fuck you, Rhal. You gotta one-up me like that.
Same
5.
team.
Same team.
Actually, wait, 6. Because I got.
Wait, why is it a 6?
Don't I have like an advantage on everything? Because
No.
I have my cloak.
No.
JK, 5.
That's just saving throws. Saving throws, and it's already calculated, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's already included in your rolls now for Roll20.
I'm saving myself with this perception.
You're probably interested in the fact that holy shit, you can fly. This is the greatest thing in Turk World. And you're kind of like grabbing hold of Rhal and keeping him orientated. And like you're kind of looking around where Karuna is and she's adorably cute doggy paddling in the sky. As high up as you guys are traveling. So you don't spot this, but for your 15s and above, you spot just planted every now and then along the road these arrows. You see the fletching, the tawny with the red stripe. And you see at one point a bit much further down the road, say like 6-7 minutes down, you spot that there is a change. You can see that these tawny feather owls, these stripes of red, they've pointed to another direction now. They're coming off of the road. You can see this area is a little higher in elevation. It's like a small hill in this area. And you can see that the area is much less wet and dense. It's still grim. You're still in a marsh, but it's much better. There'll be a place for you guys to land down there. And by the time you guys hit the end of your 10 minutes, you find yourself on a road, which is mostly dry. It's damp, but it's not underwater anymore. There are copses of, there's a copse of trees around you. These trees are like really tall and thin and kind of covered in like these damp vines and like algae, whatever the hell it is. And like the leaves are really long and thin. And there's that thin layer of mist around everywhere. For side note, I know our podcasting people can't see it, but for you guys, it's basically what you're seeing on your background. It's that kind of like shitty, horrible area.
Fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful. So as you guys land on this road, you can see that these tawny owl feathers, these kind of things have stopped. Like you haven't seen any in probably a while now. This is where you're at.
So we're supposed to be taking the left path?
You followed the tawny owl feathers along this left fork, and then that's when you notice that the tawny owl feather fletching things veered away from that. Like a deck could only really give Zaltanna so much information. Now you're landed. Yeah, y'all can give me perception checks.
Can I argue investigation?
Yes, you can.
Looking for the fine details of what may have transpired.
All right, so Neil, what did you get? Are you perceiving things?
14. I might be perceiving things.
Ooh. Balance.
I got a 21 investigation.
All right, and Zaltanna.
That's a 3. Why am I rolling like Arch tonight?
Arch, what did you do?
Arch,
It's because I touched your character sheet. I transferred the
what
bad.
blood magic did you perform to transfer your bad roll 20 luck onto me?
What did Casey do to deserve this?
What have I ever done to you?
You're probably, I don't know. I don't know how you'd be distracted a second time round, being that this is Benno.
Wait, fuck it. I'm using my inspiration.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna re-roll. Can't possibly be worse. But now that I've said that, it's going to be.
Of course.
Well,
You had to say something.
so that's a 4.
Technically wrong. It wasn't worse.
It was actually worse because getting 1 point more is somehow worse than getting a point less.
Especially having to use your inspiration to do it as well. That's harsh, man.
Oof.
Okay, on a 4, you don't spot anything really. On a 14, you notice that really far off in the distance, the pathway turns and goes upwards. You can see that there's a little high rise and hill, and it goes up to the left, and you can see that quite far off along there, you can see a bit of movement. You can sense that there's something up there. On a 21, you can tell that just by looking down at the ground, looking back to where Benno's fletchings had finished, you can see in the grounds there is a small sign of a scuffle. Maybe a couple of days old, you're not really sure. You can also tell that Elise was with him, and you can tell that there were 2 other sets of footprints. There you go.
Okay. It looks like there may have been a fight here. We should proceed cautiously.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but Zaltanna, I think it may actually be best if you stay in the back.
What? Why?
Because we should approach quietly and cautiously, and you are neither.
What do you mean I'm not quiet?
Jesus Christ. All right, as soon as this is uttered loudly and with annoyance and indifference... No, you can't con save.
Sorry,
I'm joking.
She didn't actually yell it, but she did say it quite loudly because she is not quiet.
Yeah, though that's
The
a
yelling was
decision
more
that-
for the effect of my humor.
yes. However, this utterance being said as it is, like almost if there were any real like birds in the trees, they would have fluttered off, but there aren't. It's loud enough. And you can see that up the end of this pathway where it turns and goes up to the left and you can't see much further, you see there is a very tall humanoid shape approaching you. They seem to be limping, but trying to move as quickly as they can. You can see that they're dragging one of their legs behind them.
Zambonis!
This is what you see coming towards you. They don't appear to be wearing all that much. You can see that they're wearing a cloak. You can see that they're wearing a set of leather armor, but it's torn to shreds. It's broken. You can see that there is an empty quiver on the back, and they seem to be just like running and looking behind them and making their way just out away. They don't seem to be paying any heed to where they're going.
Balance is going to telepathically say, quietly move through the trees. And let's get closer.
All right. I need all of y'all who are doing that to make a stealth check.
Alrighty. Rolled an 18.
Hey, I got a 12.
Wow.
Strike from the shadows.
I got a 7.
Ha ha ha.
Well, the one who advocates quiet is the loudest as you guys make your way into the trees.
You guys, be quiet. Hey, stop.
You see Zaltanna about to put her foot on a twig and she puts her foot over it and you just like, does instinctively wince or something, or winch, and you guys make your way into the tree line. I'm so sorry. I can't no longer say that word without thinking the other. You guys hide in the trees, sort of. I'm going to say group stealth check, you'll win, just because that's fairer. You see making their way down towards you. You see them covered in blood. You see them limping. You see a fair amount of tears now rolling down their face. And as they get much, much clearer into view, probably about 50, 60 feet away, you recognize the somewhat mangled body making their way towards you of Benno.
No!
Yep.
No!
No, that's good. It means he's alive.
No, it doesn't. It means he's a zombie.
You make a lot of assumptions.
Hi. It's Jens here. Boy, looks like we're in a spot of bother somewhat. Oof. Treaties, huh? That's some pretty bad news if you ask me. Oh well, maybe people will be desperate enough to wanna, or maybe drink more with me. I mean, I'm happy either way. Either way, there's probably going to be a fight involved, so I'm all good. If you want to be all good and you want to help the rest of the people here be all good, then if you want to help out a bit and chuck some of your hard-earned gold at them so they can keep doing their things, they have a Patreon now, and we get to hear about the stories over in Kino because of those lovely people who've done so far. So you guys are rad. Kino is a fun. I'm saying nothing more about that. But if you want to talk to people, there's this thing called Twitter, and that's at TLD Pod, or you can check out their Discord, or you can email them, the Lucky Die at theluckydiepodcast@gmail.com. Other than that, ratings, reviews, all the good things. Because we need the good things, because I think Discora and Kino and just all of Bitcron's going to be a bit screwed, really. So cool, nice things would be good. All right, I hope to interact with you later. Bye.
We need to have a bit of a private chat, actually.
Our RV is going to become the love shack.
Oh, God.
It's a rocking duck, I'm knocking.
Oh my! I thought you said our Arby's for a second, and I was like, when did we get an
Our
Arby's?
Arby's. When did we
There's an Arby's in the back of the RC.
Jesus. There he starts. No.
This podcast brought to you by Arby's.
Wow, look how premium
Arby's.
the meat.
Listen,
So
sidebar,
good.
Arby's, if you want to get in contact with us,
Oh my God, please stop.
No, don't, because I don't know if I can resist making jokes about Arby's. And
Anyway,
I don't think they
so
wanna
Jens
pay
has
me to
left.
talk about how terrible they are.
Stop. Please stop.
well, now you just ruined it.
I'm trying so desperately.
I'm sorry, V.
It's okay.
We love
Jen
you.
steps out of the RC and leaves you guys to it.
This is Outpost Freestead. I'm reaching out for Siege Group and possible rescue services. A storm has stranded us here for over a week. Anyone, please respond.
One of the companies I work for needs me to go on a trip. Apparently they received a signal from one of their outposts.
And the noise, the scratching from last night.
There are marks, scores on the bunker.
What kind of marks?
Big ones, like a bear, deep into the concrete.
It's not bare.
And I'm afraid it's here too.
During these storms, travel is not advised. The White Vault,